Hey guys, what's up? It's time to set up a garden. I'm gonna do this kind of fast paced, tell you what I'm doing, because trying to make videos of this stuff is just hard to do. All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay. This one. Ooh. Look away. All right, I'm gonna move you guys over here because you were on the lawnmower and I need it. I've been mowing around these tarps for, what, like 2 months now, and you know, I don't want to risk shredding the edges of the tarp, so I've been leaving a little space, and the weeds are really high around it. So now that we've got the tarp up, I'm just gonna run the mower around that edge, cut all that stuff down. All right, got the grass cut around the edge. Now, this, for those of you who might not have been here for the last couple months, this is a 2,000 square foot space in ground that we put a silage tarp down on. And it's been this way since about 6 weeks, I think. And we have Bermuda grass, among some other grasses, but Bermuda grass is a real booger to get rid of. And as you can see, there's a pretty good deal of grass still growing under here. It's very pale because it's been covered from the sun, but it's still there. The roots are still there. Just a couple days of light and it would be going strong, and this would be grown over if we didn't do anything else. But we are determined to grow some cabbages, to plant our garlic, and to do some things in the ground here over the winter. So we actually got our flamethrower and we're about to burn off all of this. It's called flame weeding. It is good because you're burning that stuff off and leaving it there, which is actually good for the soil. And then I'm also gonna be using some woven ground cover to cover this area and plant in. We're gonna use the flamethrower to burn holes in that too, so I'll show you that. Do you see those voles, Katie girl? When I was mowing, a couple of little voles or field mice came running out of this tall grass and ran. That means they're hiding in here somewhere. Now, this garden, this is just the ground, the soil as it is, and then when we put in our driveway, we scraped a lot of the topsoil down to where it got a little harder so we could lay down gravel and it wouldn't just sink into that soft top layer of soil. And we piled that up on here too, which is probably why we're dealing with some grass, because that topsoil had grass in it, then the soil we laid it on top of had grass in it. I'm not that worried about it. Like, establishing garden spaces, especially when you've got a tough grass like Bermuda, I mean, you're just gonna have to deal with it. And I really don't want to till this. I want to just layer this on, and eventually, hopefully, it'll get better. Another thing that I'm planning for this garden is I'm not gonna do a ton of amending. I've got a little bit of like some manure and like a few bags of amendments. I might use a little bit of it, but I really want to see how the soil does here. So this is kind of experimental. Of course, I have some garden space in the front. I think the garlic will do well no matter what, because it's pretty tolerant of even poor soil. And I know we have pretty good soil because our property had cattle on it for like 2 decades. And this low area where we're putting our garden, where the pond is, it's kind of the low point for the surrounding area. So we have like 10 to 12 inches of really good topsoil here. And I haven't done any testing on it yet, which I'm planning on doing that. But you know, one way you can test your soil and see how good it is plant something in it. I mean, the risk is higher, but we'll see if it grows. What are you guys doing? Don't know. You don't know, but you're here for it, huh? Yep. You hooking up the flamethrower? So tell me about this thing. Where does one get one of these?
Well, when you lose yours after moving 720 miles, you can go to Tractor's and buy another one.
How much are they?
40 bucks.
Okay.
And then propane tank. Now, if you have a propane tank, it's like 20 bucks to fill it, and if you don't, it's $50 to buy it.
Here's the before picture. Well, this plan did not really go off as I had hoped. This is a different flamethrower than the one that we had in Arkansas. I think that one is in the trailer with my gardening stuff, which will be here next week. It's the last thing. It's just a little box trailer that has lots of my stuff in it, and Noah is bringing it back when he comes back. And it was a major oversight to leave that there. So we went and bought this one, and it just doesn't have a lot of power to it, and this grass is just not burning. Like, the really dead stuff is burning, but the stuff that's living is not wanting to catch. I gotta go cook dinner, so I gotta leave it alone right now. I'm gonna check on the Googly and see if I can find out some information on what my options are here. I don't think I want to just put that ground cover down, whereas it probably would keep a lot of this from growing. I wish that it was more clear before putting that down, so I need to figure out what I want to do. Now, my time lapse cut out, and I don't know at what point it did, but I've burned a lot of this, and I mean, you can see how much of the grass is still remaining even after having been torched. And I only got like maybe a fifth of this done, and it's been a hot minute. I did get these cabbages planted, which is good. I mean, at least I have some, which is better than none. I got some more lettuce starts, and I also have some more seeds to replace my lettuce that's gone to seed. But I really want to get that big garden in so we can get more stuff growing. We are gonna figure out how we want to proceed with the gardens, and I'm gonna talk that out with you guys, and we're gonna do something. But first, I'm just gonna check in on a couple of things that are adorable, like Ben and Spencer over here fishing. Did y'all go back to your house to get some stuff?
One of the baits like came off, and we had to go get some clippers.
Y'all gonna catch a big one?
We already caught one.
You caught one already?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome.
It was not that big.
I'm gonna get a worm farm set up so we have plenty of worms that we can fish with. Well done, guys. Beautiful view. Spencer, I think your dog might hinder your fish. Might hinder your fishing efforts a little bit. Look at him swimming and drinking at the same time. That's hilarious. Will break for pets.
There's no point in shaking that water off while you're standing in the pond.
What you got?
Scrubber.
Scrubber?
Scrubber.
Let's take that to Daddy.
Scrubber. Scrubber.
You know what else I think we should do? Is go see our baby pigs.
Hold them.
Yeah, Dad's got some food in the back we can give them mamas so we can get in there. You want to go?
Yeah.
We got a little sidetracked. I was gonna show you guys the pigs a second ago, but Jeremiah remembered something else I needed to do, and he's over here scrubbing the trough out now. We actually have a house guest this weekend I'll introduce you guys to. Sweet Maya is scrubbing this trough, and this is JJ. Say hi, JJ.
Hi.
JJ is Jackson and Asher's dad, my oldest boy's dad. Those of you who've been with us have heard us talk many times about how we are a blended family, and we invited JJ to come out and stay this weekend to watch Jackson's last home football game, and his mom and stepdaughter, who are Jackson Asher's stepsister, they'll be here in the morning. Their flight comes in early in the morning, so we've got them staying this weekend out here at the farm, and he's now wrangled into farm chores.
Hey Ben, come here. I need you to get something. One, two. We'll get Gabe's food bowl right there. To the right.
Right here, it's by the barn. We have an ongoing saga. Gabriel if we are not paying close enough attention, like if we're out here feeding and we feed Gabe, he's really good about keeping the goats out of his food, but he likes to take his food bowl and hide it. Which wasn't a big deal when we were in, like, he was in a yard that was a couple acres, but this field is 13 acres. And if we're not paying attention enough to grab it when he's done, he'll go and just take it somewhere. Whenever we got home from going out of town the other day, we pulled up and Gabriel's just trotting across the field with his bowl. And we're like, no, because we got in and got stuff unloaded. And at that point, you got to go out there, just ride around the whole field till you find his bowl. You go see the piggies?
Piggy.
Well, my efforts to burn the grass, actually, it looks a little bit more effective today than it did yesterday. There's still a good bit of grass, and you can tell where I didn't burn versus where I did. I did some reading yesterday, and here's what I knew about flame weeding. That it is beneficial because basically it burns back everything on top of the soil while not affecting anything under the soil, which whenever you're trying to avoid tilling, you're trying to avoid breaking up the soil structure and all of that life that's in the soil. You want to allow that to remain. And so by just burning what's on top, you're sustaining that soil structure. You do leave the roots, therefore it is going to come back. But the thing that I didn't realize with flame weeding is that you don't necessarily have to fully burn away the stuff if there is something living. If it gets heated over 160 degrees, I think is what I was reading, it's pretty much going to kill back that plant. The roots will still be there, so it'll send up new growth eventually. It is not typically something used on really large spaces. So while it's great for, like, if you've got rocks or something or a pathway that stuff is growing through to come flame weed because you're not putting any sort of chemical on, it's probably not going to be the best option for this space. Now I want to make this crystal clear because I really want to be an advocate for no-dig gardens. It doesn't have to be this hard. Really, ideally, if you're gonna prepare a no-dig garden, laying down layers of cardboard, or if you're gonna use something like silage tarps, if you just leave them down for a long time, it really will help kill back the grass. And this has helped a lot. I mean, this is way better than it was when we started. The issue I'm running into right now is not a no-dig issue, it's an impatience issue. Like, I'm wanting to plant something before I've really put in the time to prepare this garden space how I should appropriately do it, which is to lay down layers, pile up compost and mulch, let it break down, and over time I would have a great garden space. And I recognize that. I recognize that I'm trying to rush along a process. I'm still gonna do it. I'm still gonna rush it. Not everywhere. I mean, that tarp back there, I'm gonna go ahead and leave it down. But here, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put my woven ground cover down. Right now, I've got a bunch of cabbage starts. I've got seed garlic. If I don't plant them, they're just gonna go bad. So while this might not be fully ideal, and probably I will have some weeds and grass coming up through the holes of my weed fabric, I will at least get to harvest food out of this space. And I've got all the time in the world to really fully continue growing these garden spaces into what I want them to be. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, they're so cute.
Help me, Daddy.
She just ran into that little thing. That was so cute.
Made me feel bad. There you go. Hold her tight. Hold her tight. Pick her up.
Oh, Maya. You just can't, they won't, if they squeal, that mama comes running. Oh, look at these babies. They're so cute.
You saw them out. I saw them out earlier.
They're so cute. Hey, babies. The little runty ones back by the house. You ready to put this down? You have a wet spot on your shirt.
Yeah, it's when I picked up that piglet for Ben.
Oh, did it pee on you?
Yeah, because I'm a farm boy. Not really, though.
It didn't pee on you?
No, it was just running around in the wallow.
Yeah, it
so
looks
was
muddy. That's okay. I'm a farm boy. That was my favorite.
Okay. I'm a farm boy.
All right, so we've got this woven ground cover. Thank you, Vanna. Could you show it off for us? My lovely assistant.
I was like, for a second, I didn't know what you were saying. I was like, Vanna.
No, I'm
I missed the joke. Way over my head.
Wheel of Fortune was my nanny's program.
What's your jam?
Oh, my nanny's jam. She watched it every time. All right, so we've got this woven ground cover. It's woven so that water can permeate through it. So rain goes through it so you can water on top of it however you're going to. And obviously that's beneficial for your plants. But it's opaque to keep the sun from shining through, and therefore it greatly cuts down on weeding. Now, the reasons I like the woven ground cover, when we got these from Grower Solutions. We've tried a couple different kinds. I tried the white one year, and in theory it's great because it doesn't add heat, which if you're growing during the summer in a hot place, that can be a problem. But it didn't block the light out as well, and so we ended up with a lot more weeds underneath it than when I've done the black. This is 4 feet wide, these rolls from Grower Solution, and I do like it. I think it really helps on weeding. Obviously, that's the goal. The things I don't like about using woven ground cover, and why I don't usually suggest it for very new gardeners, is that it's expensive. And so if you're just like getting started and it's like your first garden, I usually say use some other mulch. But I do think it definitely has its place, and it's very popular among market growers where you're trying to cut down as much as possible on the time that you're putting in to make as much money as possible, and time is money. And so if you spend significantly less time weeding or even having to lay down mulch throughout the season, obviously that's beneficial. We're gonna burn holes in this with that flamethrower, and while it didn't really have the strength to really torch these weeds like I wanted to, it'll do fine for burning holes in the ground cover. The problem is like once the holes are there, they're there. So you don't have the versatility to like mix it up and plant in a different pattern the following year, but you can use this for more than 1 year. And again, that's why it's popular with market growers, because they typically know what they're wanting to grow with it. We're gonna do some holes for things like cabbages. I'm probably gonna put some kale in these beds. I've got some up in the front, but might as well do some more. And then I'm gonna be planting garlic and probably eventually onions in this patch, but we're not quite there yet. So this came with a box of these stakes.
Well, it wouldn't be that big. That box is for both rolls that we got, which one roll was for the greenhouses, so they just boxed it together. That's
okay, so that's a ton of stakes. That's more than you'd get with one roll.
We'll use these for this, and we'll have these for when we set up both greenhouses. So
okay, so
you would never
just so
need
you
that
know.
many stakes,
right,
for this roll. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, no, I understand. Stakes, so. It's good to clarify. So Maya is just pinning this down with these stakes. This is a heck of a lot easier at this farm than on our old farm, because here we have soil and there we had lots of rocks.
As I hit a rock.
Oh, as you hit a rock. Here comes Katie girl under the cotton candy sky. All right, I'm gonna set this down and we're gonna roll it out. You are stressing me out. I got too many sons to watch that and not give a warning. Katie girl, you laying by the camera? You keeping it safe for me? Size really does not convey well through the camera. So this garden space, 2,000 square feet, 40 by 50. For comparison, if you added one moderately sized bedroom, you would have our house. That's how big this is. Our whole house plus 400 square feet could fit in this. I know, I just hit all the rocks in this area.
Well, I kicked out some big rocks, so there's some left.
All right, now I want to go ahead and show burning the holes, just because we're losing light, and we can finish working on this, but I can't make a video when I get started. All right, now sensically, what we would normally do here is lay all this out, get all of the stakes driven in it, get the whole thing covered, and then heat up the torch, burn in the holes, and then plant. However, it's getting kind of dark, so we're gonna skip over some of these steps for the sake of being able to show you guys. Probably, since we're not gonna get all of this covered tonight, I probably will take that torch and just knock down the places where it's the most dense. I don't have to like hit absolutely everything, but I was noticing today how, though this didn't look super thorough last night, just as it's been able, that heat was able to kill off what was still there, it looks way more burned today, more effective. All right, so let's make this the cabbage side, And we'll do the onions and stuff down there because the onions and garlic will be harvested last.
Okay.
And that way we'll harvest from this side over since you're going to be working on the window greenhouse right there. So that way if we can clear out this space sooner, it'd be better. So for the cabbages, we're gonna go, I'm gonna offset a little bit. So I want, like, we'll start with a hole like right here. And then we're gonna offset a little bit and go like right here and then like this, okay? So start here.
Here?
A little bit further. Awesome. Okay.
Okay.
All right, that's good enough for right now. Now that shows the holes. This one's a little bit too far, but about like that.
It's not an exact science. I mean,
yeah.
You have no real control over the flame. You just kind of get don't make it too big.
Here comes the herons, look.
Oh wow, yeah, they're both coming in. Gabe's like, I'm gonna get them. Oh, that one just pooped right there, right before us.
He's fertilizing the garden.
Well, I'm glad he didn't fertilize me.
Alright, you are on one tonight.
I'm hungry.
Okay, let's go in and eat.
Hungry.
I got that caudal, Irish caudal, in the oven, which one of my lovely Irish viewers told me. Here, can we come over here so I can set this heavy camera down? One of my lovely Irish viewers told me that I should make Irish caudal. And I did, and it is going to become a regular thing. It's like sausage and potato stew. Anyway, thank you guys for hanging out with us over the process of starting this garden. We obviously still have a good deal of work to do.
Yeah,
but
you think?
Oh, you're talking about like overall in our life? Or just in the garden? Just
the amount of work for putting in the gardens on this property. We've done like a percent.
A blip. We've done a ton.
1%.
Hey, I could grow gardens for the rest of my life and be
content. You will grow
content.
gardens for the rest of your life.
Yes, I will.
And I hope you are content.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us today. We bless you. Until next time.